Hi everyone, it's Abby from the Lunatics Radio Hour, and today I want to talk to you guys about Fate magazine. Fate magazine was first published in 1948. It's still published to this day, which makes it the longest running paranormal magazine of all time. And I have a bunch of examples to show you. So it's a US-based publication. It was first founded by Curtis Fuller and Raymond A. Palmer. Palmer was also an editor of Amazing Stories, which is a science fiction type magazine that was established in the 20s, which I think is really cool, and I would love to try to track some of those down too. We'll go through the examples that I have here. The pages are filled with like UFO encounters, paranormal stories, firsthand experiences. There's lots of like expert testimony, alternative medicine, tons of different sort of like haunting paranormal investigations, explorations of like afterlife and religions. It's really quite broad in its scope. And actually, speaking of that, in the 1950s, Palmer sold his half of the magazine to Fuller, and since then they've broadened the topics that are covered, and they saw like a huge influx in viewership since they did that. So I have this collection of issues from the 60s, and I also have this one from the 90s. You can see there's actually quite a big difference in the size and scale of these. And in the 90s, there was new leadership that turned it from this digest size into a full magazine. But what's interesting is that in 2003, they actually reverted. So if you were to get new copies of the magazine, they would be this size again. These are mostly all from 1963. One of them is from 1961. Just to give you a sense of some of the highlights here. Exorcising a Bronx Demon. Hunts table-tipping ghosts, how to contact the dead, a knot-tying poltergeist, a locket from the dead, the sea serpent of 1879, an article called How I Became a Medium, the light that chased a car. I'm only on 2. Astrology, new evidence to support an ancient science, the forest of disappearing children, my first interview with the dead. What do great world religions think of reincarnation? And Lunatics Radio Hour, we have an episode of reincarnation, so I'm excited to read that. Why Freud fainted. Blood from a 400-year-old corpse. Attacked by a bodiless hand. Got to get to the bottom of that one. Kidnapped by a UFO. The lady was a vampire. I mean, gold. Gold right here. I just love, I picked up this one from the 1990s because I just love the cover art and how enthusiastic they are about alien encounters. So in this one you have articles, Ireland's Hellfire Club, Beast and the Beauty. This one looks interesting. Lots of Bigfoot ones on this one. So I first learned about Fate magazine really recently when I was doing research for a recent podcast episode, and I was blown away that I had never kind of organically come across it. So I'm really excited that I have these now and I can explore the stories within. There's a lot of collectors. I found these on eBay they're relatively affordable. So if you're into that kind of thing, you want to have like a physical copy of something. There's some that are more expensive, I think, kind of depending on how prominent that one issue was or how bizarre, but these were all really affordable. So if you're interested in exploring that, definitely check it out. And again, they're still producing content, so I'm going to try to figure out how I can get new issues. I think they slowed down to only kind of like a few times a year, which is great. So it's just kind of fun. You know, it's a fun thing to have something that has celebrated the paranormal for so long. And again, there's probably a bit of tabloidness to this and like sensational news and almost like clickbait before clickbait was a thing. But so take it with a grain of salt. You know, it's probably not doing anything to help with like conspiracy theorists and things like that, which are problematic. But if you're kind of looking at it just around like the history of paranormal, I think it's an important thing to kind of pause on and reflect on for a second. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy. I'll post some pictures on Instagram of stuff inside the magazine as well, so you can have a closer look at what's inside. Talk to you guys soon.